tent with the word state on top of it. It's at that stop sign on Main Street. That's where the pit is. If you have an accident, if you have a flat tire, if something breaks on your bike, go there. We will take care of you and get you back in the race. We're scheduled to race for, oh, please, 25 minutes. At some point during the race, see where that zero, on the purple zero is on the upper right? That's going to be laps to go. Okay? Have fun, be safe. And we start in 25 seconds.
See the guy in the white helmet with the blue jersey and the purple undershirt? Got it. Well, he might have already got it. 10 seconds.
Counting it down here, about to send our juniors out as we're going to get down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with the whistle, we are underway. Our juniors, multiple age groups. So multiple races going on all at the same time. So once again, a lot of patience by the parents, families, the USA cycling officials, everyone trying to manage the multiple races going on at the same time. And early on, we already got an attack. So what's going to happen? You have different, like I said, you may have some 17, 18-year-olds out there racing with 10, 11-year-olds. So you're going to have a difference in skill level. You're also going to have some 12-year-olds who are just as fast as probably 30-year-old men. Faster, actually. So a lot of different categories of skill you're going to see out here. Or, sorry, different levels of skill. So anyway, most exciting race for parents, family, come on out. The future of American crit racing. And we've got them out on the first minute here of this 25-minute race. I said 20 minutes, apologies. Actually, we're going to race them for 25 minutes. Coming up. And then next will be the Masters A before we take it into the pointy end of the men's 3, the men's Cat 1, 2, the women's Pro 1, and the men's Pro 1 to end the day. But right now, we're about midway through. So once again, thanks for joining us. Weather starting to get a little steamy. It's probably one of the cooler mornings we've had in a while at Tulsa Tough. But guess what? It's June in Oklahoma, so it's going to start heating on up. All right, look at the Jumbotron. We will see our first group making their way down the hill. We'll try to recognize as many of the names and faces as we can. Try to keep those bib numbers sorted out here on our junior race. So opening lap done and dusted, and this is what I meant by kind of the skill level here. That was a sub 2 minute. That was a sub 2 minute lap by the front of these juniors. Our men's Cat 5s, and some of the Masters race we had earlier today, they were 2 minute plus laps. So here it is, opening lap, 156, 157. So sub 2 minute opening lap here for our juniors. So we want to make sure if you're on the podium of the men's Cat 4, please head on down. We need our men's Cat 4 podium. We would like to recognize our men's Cat 4 podium. So we'll watch the juniors navigate their way up the hill as our Fondo participants continue to roll on in. About a 2.5 hour delayed start. No ace this year because of the rain and storms that we had early on. But we did have the Medios, 60 mile plus, so give you more time to get back here early to try to take care of things. So we need to get a van off the course. Once again, a reminder, if you are crossing the race course, only do it at the course marshal areas. In that case, it was a van with a trailer, so they needed a couple extra marshals to get it across. Turn my volume up. Alrighty, we'll be recognizing that men's Cat 4 podium coming up So here comes the front of our juniors. 327 leading the way. That's Braxton Boyer, Elevate Cycling, or Elevate Racing it is, out of Texas. As we said, you're going to have a lot of mini gruppettos all over the place. We are going to recognize our podium coming up. I see Isaiah. I see Alberto looking for Trey Corsi. There he is. I didn't see the GoPro. All right, so without further ado, let's recognize our men's Cat 4 podium. Racing from the 918, literally with Logistics 918 race team. In third place, Alberto Figueroa. Wearing the Day Glow Orange of the 2023 Tulsa Wheelman kit, it's Trey Corsi. And with the 80s decor, the OK Flyer, Isaiah Colbreth. Taking the win in our men's Cat 4. So your podium here in the men's Cat 4, Colbreth, Corsi, and Figueroa, 1, 2, and 3. Fat Tire, our official podium beer, except for the winner. That's just the case. And you got a junior out there beating them in. Alrighty, so here we are, 5.5 minutes in of our junior race. We'll keep our eyes out here, kind of checking out some of the racers up towards the front. Maybe that could be Baden Rogan, Work Hard, Be Humble Cycling. Once again, these great race team names. We had the World Dodgeball Association in the previous race. Here, Work Hard, Be Humble. It's a great motto to have. Racing out of Georgia, I believe that's Baden Rogan, who is up towards the front. And opening up a gap on some of those chasers, one of those being the Elevate Racing Texas racer, Braxton Boyer. So let's say 6 minutes now. So the juniors rolling on through. That next group, looking at some of the OK Flyers. That may be.
Dude, check. There we go. Check. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 3 1 2 3. Check 1 2 1 2. That's good. Keep it there. Perfect.
So just over 3 laps into the junior race here. As we said, 25 minutes. We cut 5 minutes off of the time. Every year, you have all the different things. This year, it's going to be Send It. The 2023 edition of Tulsa Tough, it's hashtag Send It. And that's what these juniors are, the future crit racers, future champions of American cycling out here. Taking on the course, our L-shaped course in downtown, the Tulsa Arts District. So it's a great little spot here. You got the Guthrie Green over there just across the way at our finish line truss. As we're still counting the clock up before we count the laps down. So checking out livelinksresults.com. Not only are you going to see all the results as the day goes on, the official final results, also some live timing here. And looking at the overall, I believe we've got Ryan Drummond, who we're trying to keep an eye out where he is on the course. He may or may not be in first place right now. Ryan Drummond Grew up in Oklahoma City, raced here in Tulsa for a while, now over in Arkansas, racing with the Academy at Bike School over in Bentonville. His dad, he's a former Masters national champion cyclocross racer. Does a lot of stuff, a lot of podiums there at the Masters mountain bike racing as well. Chris Drummond, he used to always say his name wasn't Chris Drummond, he was just Ryan Drummond's dad, but a great racer in his own right. I think he was 21st last night in the 1-2 race. Been doing a lot of mentoring with the Academy at Bike School over there in Arkansas, but making a little time to come race crits over here. So once again, bib number 330, trying to keep it on that. That should be Ryan Drummond out there. Once again, former Tulsa. So watching this next group roll on through. And once again, the live tracking, once again, you have different categories. So patience as we try to get all that scored out there and keep track of all of it here. On day number 2 of the FC Tulsa, St. Francis Tulsa Tough, 17th edition, here in 2023. So scattered across there. Actually, so they say it's actually 980 Dylan Rogers. So a little correction there on the number. So Dylan Rogers also racing out of the Academy. I mean, he's a teammate of Drummond's, racing with the Academy at Bike School out of Bentonville, Arkansas. So 15-year-old Dylan Rogers, your leader up here at the front of the race early on here. So we've been counting the clock up before we count the laps down. And that's where we are. Just over 10:15 now into this race, 25-minute race, and we're at 8 laps to go. So next time we see Mr. Dylan Rogers roll on through, we'll click it on down, and we should be showing 7 to go. So cutting down some of the time. 25-minute race for the juniors, and then coming up next will be the Masters A, one of my favorite races, actually my favorite race, year after year after year, as that'll be about a 50-minute race coming up next. But right now, we still have under 8 to go here in our junior race. Bib number 10, Mark Marushkin out of Texas. That seat post may be taller than him out there, hurdling the bike down Reconciliation Way for another lap under our finish line truss here in front of Guthrie Green. So we talk about all the hard work that goes into this. It's a 365-day adventure. Everybody talks about hashtag take Monday off. Malcolm and the team don't, because Monday is just the start of planning 2024's Tulsa Tough. And wouldn't be possible without the great sponsors. Of course, since 2006, the St. Francis Health System has been here leading the way. But you don't grow it and have this much money, this much payouts, and this much of a huge event without having more people help out, as our juniors put another lap in. 7 to go, 7 to go, 7 to go. Also looking at some of our great presenting sponsors. Aon, who is also our sponsor for the Fondos here today. Rox Tech, who is our VIP tent sponsor. The Don Thornton Automotive Group, who is our sponsor of our pace cars all weekend long. Also FC Tulsa, our title sponsor here today. McElroy Manufacturing, who will be our title sponsor tomorrow down at River Parks at Crybaby Hill. The McNelly's Group Catering, which is our Friday night sponsor. Also Tulsa Bone and Joint, Tulsa For You, the William K. Warren Foundation, and the Williams Companies. All of our presenting sponsors leading the way here. Tons of other categories as well. Century level, Peloton level, partner level, and then of course the St. Francis Tulsa Tough Divas. They have their own crew as well that helps put on all of this event and make it possible. You got some of the familiar names that have been here forever. We talked about the Warrens with St. Francis, also Nadella Gusman. We got to say thank you to the James and Susanna Adelson Family Foundation as well. So we still are on the free lap available time, and this is the last one. Once we hit 6 laps, so right now if somebody had a mechanical or a crash of any kind, they can still head on down to the west of us here to the state wheel tent. And in that state wheel tent, you will not find Dan Joy, because he's down here at the start-finish line. But we are about to finish up free laps. So when those race leaders who we're seeing right now in the Jumbotron, they're about a quarter of a lap to go. When they come rolling through, we will be closing off the state wheel pit. In fact, you're going to look, I think there's the final kind of lucky riders, that is, lucky racers. I think may have 1 or 2 that they may be sitting on out. That'll be the last ones being able to take advantage of the free laps. So they've just kicked them out. So that free lap is taken here. And so now we are 6 to go. So the wheel pit is closed. 6 to go, 6 to go, 6 to go. There is Drummond. We talked about Drummond being there, 330. Ryan up there with the Academy of at Bike School out of Bentonville. His teammate as well up there, Dylan Rogers. Right now, Drummond driving it at the front of this. Our next little group will roll on through. There'll be Lincoln Ware, Move Up Cycling Club out of Missouri. As they will make their way onto turn number 2 on the north side of the Guthrie Green. Real quick, we'll recognize some of those St. Francis Tulsa Tough Diva sponsors. The Bama Companies, Carol Bush, Healthcare Private Bank, Interior Logistics Incorporated, Marissa and Johannes Duma, Phillips 66, Rich Family, Roca Bar and Asian Flavors, Tailwind Inspection Incorporated, and Tito's Handmade Vodka. And here's the thing, the Divas, they're sponsored. They have this big, long list of sponsors, but here's what they do. They reinvest. The Divas went out and gathered up $1,200 of cash. The Divas got $1,200 of cash that were for preems for the women's 4-5. In today's women's 4-5 race, we had 2 $305 cash preems and a $100 cash preem, and tomorrow we'll do the same thing. So much money that the Divas, once again, reinvesting. They're helped out by people donating money and sponsors, but then they went out and reinvested back to help out in the women's 4-5 racing. So we'll see more of that tomorrow. Some big money preems, the largest money preems, I believe, of all weekend happening in the women's 4-5 field. So under 6 to go, we'll go 5 to go. And it looks like moving towards the front is going to be BMC Walmart. That may be our men's Cap 5 winner, possibly. It'll help if I can remember that. Maybe Brazil. It may not be it. We'll find out. We'll have to kind of take a look. As Tyler Brazell had been our winner in the other one, and it is. It's Ty Brazell with BMC Walmart Cycling. He won the men's Cap 5, and here he is trying to win the junior race as well. So 5 to go. We're going to show 5 to go, 5 to go, 5 to go. Your Texas racer, Braxton Boyer, up and towards the front. We talked about the Arkansas racer with BMC, Brazell, but also up there you're still going to have the Ryan Drummond as well. And Dylan Rogers racing out of Bentonville. So 5 to go, 5 to go, 5 to go. Once again, a lot of different races going on. We are focused on the front. That's what the cameras have drawn the attention of, is the front of this race. But we will be trying to recognize all the individual age groups as well. Coming up next after this one, as we're down to about 4.5 laps to go, will be the Masters A, my favorite race year after year. Men's Masters A, category 1, 2, and 3, 40 plus. They'll be racing for 50 minutes, and it could be one of the hardest races of the weekend every year. This is a bunch of 40-plus-year-old ex-national champions that will put the Watts out. It is an amazing witness, just watching them just whip each other. And the attacks, one of the most amazing ones a couple years ago when we saw Chad Cagle and some of those guys be able to lap the field and actually make their way all the way back in. And literally, for a couple laps, they were 1 lap up on the field and basically had kind of a protected peloton to usher them to the finish. So under 5 to go, and we'll say 4 to go, 4 to go, 4 to go. A reminder, if you want some swag, you want some gear, head on over to the St. Francis Tulsa Tough Expo. It's right caddy corner from us. So if you're over here near the start-finish line, you look at the finish line truss, it's literally right across the way from us in Guthrie Green. It's on this corner of Boston and Reconciliation Way. Come get some gear, some St. Francis Tulsa Tough gear from the expo down here on Reconciliation Way at Guthrie Green. So as we're going to see 4 to go, and it's going to be a big group, but it's kind of a mix here. We're going to have some lap riders in there amongst the leaders as they will roll on through. So we talked about on some of the lower category races, you're looking at last year's podium, you're like, hey, are they going to defend their title from last year? Well, usually they're not, because they've advanced and they've moved on up. Same thing for these juniors. A lot of these juniors have already moved up. You look at last year, your overall junior winner, Isaiah Colbreth, we just saw him win the men's Cap 4. and the race just prior to this. So once again, talk about it's the youth movement. So the juniors, if they do well, that's right. You're not going to see them next year usually racing the juniors because they're going to be up there trying to race the men, and in the case of Isaiah, beating the men. So looking at the overall, also last year the juniors, second place was Diego Duran. Aiden Wyatt was third, the teammate of Isaiah with OK Flyers, and Aiden Wyatt was very, very active in that race, the men's Cat 4 race as well. So once again, they do well today. You won't see them here next year because they'll be in a different race, moving their way up in categories. So under 4 to go. Next time we see those race leaders roll through, we will see 3 to go. So here comes the moto. We'll roll on through. So right now, we'll look back to the Jumbotron as we're going to be waiting on the lead group. Ty Brazel, our men's Cat 5 winner, making the left-hand turn. Makes his way on the reconciliation way. So it'll be interesting. Once again, type of sprint these guys try to open up as we get down towards the end. We've seen it early on today. We've had a couple sprint finishes. We've also seen it where people open up the sprint a little too early. I mean, it's 150 to 200 meters down there, and if you open it up immediately when you make that turn, coming down the hill from the Old Lady Brady Theater, now the Tulsa Theater, when you make that left-hand turn, the final of the day, if you try to open up that sprint, it is way far out. So we've seen some people burn the matches early and get caught in the line. So once again, the patience and experience to know when to make that attack. Right now we're down to the final 3 laps, 3 laps to go, 3 laps to go. So those race leaders are duo from Arkansas with the Academy at Bike School, Drummond and Rogers also up there. So again, once again, this is a perfect example. You check out the Jumbotron of just the age difference. This warrior out here, the bike's taller than he is, and he is battling it up Sound Pony Hill as he makes his way up towards the iconic Canes Ballroom. He'll make his way on the backside of the OK Pop Museum as we now will focus in on our race leaders under 3 to go. Once again, it's an amalgamation of race leaders, and also there's some lap riders in there as well, just to make it a little more chaotic as we get down under 3 to go. Once again, a reminder, only cross with the permission of our race marshals. The course marshals are here to help out and protect the riders first and foremost because they're working harder than you are. Respect their workplace. Alrighty, under 3 to go. They're going to have another trip down the hill. So the one downhill portion really of this course, not as dangerous as Galveston, which we'll see tomorrow on day number 3, but one where you get some speed. I call it the white knuckle, but really the streets are dry. Even early on, no issues with slipping out and coming down that high-speed downhill as they make their way past the Tulsa Theater. But right now, we're looking at more of our racers continue to roll on through the OK Flyers. Also, we're going to look at number 11, racing out of Mexico. That is Jorge Medina Hernandez, racing with Equipo de Carreras Desert Fox Race Team. Number 11, lucky number 11, rolling on through, race age of 11. So we'll look back. Here comes our commissar on the moto. And now we're showing them 2 to go. The penultimate lap, 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go, 2 to go. These juniors are working harder than you are. Get to the barriers and let them know how much you appreciate how hard they are working. And I say that, and they're taking a coffee break. There's a cessation of hostilities for some reason right now. They're kind of just all come back together. When will the attacks come as we get to the final 2 laps? And on cue, that may be Rogers up out of the saddle trying to push up. Of course, right there on his wheel, we are men's Cat 5 under 35 winner Ty Brazel. They'll overtake one of the young juniors. That is Mark Marushkin. Woo. A little bit of, it's not Belgian road furniture, it's junior road furniture there. They're able to navigate and avoid the 10-year-old as they made that turn right there on the backside of the Guthrie Green. So right now, under 2 to go. Second to last time that we're going to be sending them up the hill towards Sound Pony Hill. Rogers with the Academy Bike School. People want to call them Bike Club, not a Bike Club, it's the Bike School there. Making their way up the hill. They're going to overtake one of the Brick Squad juniors racing out of the 405 out of the Oklahoma City area. And now moving up on that left side have not called the yellow and blue team names or team at all so far this junior race. We'll try to get an idea who they are, but they are making a move here late as they're going to be making that left-hand turn under the Red Bull banner. They're just one turn away from coming back the reconciliation way for the bell lap here of our junior race. And that looks like this may be one of our Topeka teams, GP Velotech. That's exactly who it is. Racing out of Kansas, GP Velotech. They've always had the yellow and blue, but kind of a changing it up here with the stripes. Threw me off a little bit here with their 2023 kit. But here they come. They're going to make their way, overtaking some of the lap riders. We're going to ring that bell. It's the final lap of our junior race. Get to the barriers. Let them know how much you appreciate how hard they're working. One to go, 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 one to go. JP Velotech at the front, Evan Hall, along with, I believe that's Dante Thompson or Joseph Brindley, trying to see the second racer there. They'll make their way around turn number 1. But here comes the Texan with Elevate. That'll be Braxton Boyer now moving into second wheel. They'll turn right in front of Griffin Communications here. One to go, one to go, one to go, one to go, one to go. Backside of the Guthrie Green. We'll see their much-produced peloton there through the tents here, the registration tent just north of the start-finish line. Now they'll make that right-hand turn and start making their way up the hill towards Kane's Ballroom. And the new addition up there, the OK Pop Museum. 17 years and the skyline and scenery has changed so much here at Tulsa Tough. The races have still been here for 3 days, but the city has grown up and basically a reinvestment in downtown. And we've been able to witness it for the 18 years that it took us to get to the 17th edition. But here they are up towards the front. GP Velotech have been overtaken. Now they've moved back in about 4th or 5th wheel. So they're getting ready to make their way downhill. So if you look to the west, it'll be a couple seconds away. But if you want to come down to the barriers, we will see our junior overall race leaders making their way towards the Tulsa Theater. Looks like that may be Drummond making his way up on the inside, and he will move to the first wheel. He will have Boyer setting on second wheel as they make that left-hand turn. Dive bombing on through. 330 is Drummond. Here they come. Here's the sprint. Opening it up, 160 meters. Drummond, they're going to try to navigate over the lap riders here as they're going to head to the line. Chaotic finish as it will be Drummond taking it. The overall number 330, Ryan Drummond, with the Academy at Bike School, Bentonville, Arkansas. So once again, congratulations to all of those junior finishers, and get a little crazy towards the end. Some sprints from the riders that were actually a lap down, but the overall winner, Ryan Drummond, the former Tulsa, taking the junior win here on day number 2 of the 2023 edition of Tulsa Tough. All righty, the sprint to the line. Taking it to the line. And I tell you what, you want to talk about some hard work? David Avery, bib number 1. Work Health Solutions Racing out of California. All in. The slobber coming out of the mouth. Battling it out to take it. The 14-year-old to finish it up. Breathing through the eyeballs to finish up the junior race. So, juniors, as you take your victory lap, make sure you don't cross the line a second time, just so we can keep the timing chip and everything else, keep it straight. So, all right, here comes the sprint down. More of our finishers here, trying to take it to the line. Finishing up the junior race here on day number 2. Tulsa Tough. If you're wondering why are they still sprinting, there's a lot of different categories of the multiple junior races going on. Also, there's pride out there. Want to take it to the line? Taking it on in will be Arnold, Anderson Arnold with GP Velotech. All righty, so unofficially our podium, overall podium, and once again we'll try to recognize all the different age groups, but our overall podium here in our junior race, out of Arkansas in first place, Ryan Drummond. In second, out of Texas,